And it has all that same shit in it, all the Illuminati and like occult messages.
Gonna get crazy right now.
You know, we are streaming live now.
You doing it live?
Doing it live.
Doing it live.
Of course, Stevie, you know this came from a Fox News story, right? Damn you and your Fox News.
What came from Fox?
The dying Katy Perry nun.
Oh, I didn't see it on there.
Yeah.
The one thing I saw for Katy Perry was that she, I guess it was whatever she's doing at one of those where they play. It's in those contests, reality contests where they play music. There's this guy who never kissed a girl or anyone before because it was, that's just a very conservative household. So she had him, kiss my cheek, and then she went and pecked him right on the lips.
He kissed a girl and he liked it sort of, but he doesn't understand his feelings.
But here's the thing: if the genders were reversed and you had a female young kid out there, like 18-year-old, and
oh yeah,
and you have a guy that was doing that, hey, give me a pick, like say Jay, just an older artist, and then she came, and then she was gonna go peck his cheek, and he went. Now there would be an uproar, right?
No, there was because
remember the whole thing with Miley.
Al Franken. That was the exact same thing. One of the allegations.
Yeah, and I remember people freaking out about that. I don't know, that one creepy guy, Robin Thicke, and Miley Cyrus.
Oh, Andy Dick.
He's in his 40s and she's 18. Like, yeah.
Well, didn't Madonna do something like that too? She
Britney Spears, right?
Yeah. Well, it was someone else too. Like she grabbed them and just made out with them against.
Well, yeah, that's like a Wednesday for Madonna. I'm just saying. Hey, how you doing? I'm
I don't touch Madonna. I'm sorry. She's been around the world too many times for me. I don't know, how many disease suppressants she might be on.
Isn't that the name of a sexual position with Madonna around the world?
I'm just teasing. Madonna is actually a very talented artist, but she did grab some. I can't remember whether it was a dude or whether it was a girl, but she did grab someone,
right? And but yeah, that Katy Perry thing that was a big deal for an hour. But then the kid retracted his statement that he actually did kind of like it or something. He probably got pressured by the media company, by American Idol or whatever.
Speaking of Madonna, whatever happened to that blowjob thing for everybody that would vote for Hillary Clinton?
Yeah, she's
still paying that thing off.
Was it under the condition if she won or what?
No, there wasn't that condition. It was if you vote for Hillary Clinton, I'll give you a blowjob.
So, and the kid was like, "I wasn't even a voting age. What the fuck? Get off."
Did you guys ever see Lady Gaga's full official video on her perfume fame? Now, if you guys are occult crazy stuff, oh man.
Born This Way is pretty out there, but I'm sure,
All right, let's see. Hey, Rebel, how's it going? All right.
Hey, Amanda.
All right, here you go. I'm going to share it in a bit. It's
for me to come in on blowjobs for voting for her.
Enter any time on Hillary blowjobs. Why not? Whatever. Ironically enough, I'm going to get a meatball sub right now.
Yeah, I can see how that relates.
I'm hungry, damn it.
Are you ready to be, what the fuck?
It would take more than a blowjob for me to admit that I voted for Hillary, if I had. Which you guys would know because I wouldn't admit to. I'm trying to tell you I'm a Hillary supporter, guys.
We already know. No.
Definitely know that already, no.
Just remember, this is a perfume commercial.
Jesus Christ.
Take the blue pill.
So full of herself, isn't she? Holy shit.
Anyways.
So, and this is for perfume, correct?
Yeah, perfume.
Now, is there anything in there that you saw that you were like, I'd like to smell like that?
Yeah.
Where can I buy a bottle?
So the premise of the actual perfume bottle, it's black. The liquid is black. and you spray it on, but when you spray it, it's clear. And she does an interview, and what she wants to smell like, or the perfume to smell like, is slutty. She said, I want to smell slutty. That's the selling point.
Oh no. See, now that's really not making me
She has lost her fucking mind for sure.
Yeah, man.
That was David Lynch meets The Cell. Like, that was completely derivative. It looked cool, but like it wasn't original.
Like, really reminds me of the pictures of Pizzagate.
What's that?
Really reminds me of the pictures of Pizzagate with the cakes that they were eating. It looked like a human body with blood, and the blood was a syrup or something.
I've seen some other videos where it's kind of talking about black rains. If you do a YouTube search of Black Rain, and plus Black Rain Lady Gaga talks, and you can kind of get a sense of it. Like if you ever watched X-Files, the black goo is similar to that. And it's very interesting watch if you've never watched it before. Now that we're gone into the rabbit hole, and we should go back towards the aliens. Aliens is a good one.
That was no rabbit hole. That was just straight to the asylum.
Well, there was that one artist that, I mean, a lot of the things about Pizzagate came out of her artwork. People seeing her artwork and thinking that like there was more behind it than it was. I can't remember her name. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah,
the one woman who was pagan.
Yeah, and she would have these fake bodies made up, and people would eat them, and etc. You know.
Yeah, that's what it was reminding me of.
What the hell? So my cousin is a music video director, Joseph Kahn, and I was looking through YouTube for videos about him, see if he really was in like if he made videos of like occult symbolism. Because what's funny is he we talked last talked when it was like my aunt's wedding in Houston, Texas. And so afterwards we friended each other. He's a very big music director. Like he works with all kinds of artists, and I'll show you just kind of what he looks like. And
his name sounds familiar.
Yeah, so he did a Joseph Smith video. He's Joseph Kahn. He did a Taylor Swift video with Taylor Swift, and it's called "Look What You Made Me Do." And he's been doing so much stuff. This is kind of what he looks like. And the funny thing is he friended me on Facebook because I have my brother on there too, and now my other cousins, because I have one sibling, it's my older brother. He has one sibling, her younger sister. So I still have them as my friends on Facebook. But once I started posting like rabbit hole stuff like Pizzagate and other stuff, he unfriended me on Facebook. He didn't say anything. He just unfriended me. I'm like, that's just really odd. What did I say? What did I do? And so I always had this weird thought, and the only thing I could attribute it to is maybe he didn't like. Maybe he thought I'm crazy because I don't know. Maybe he is part of like the occult Illuminati stuff.
He's involved in Pizzagate, dude.
Yeah, you never know.
Wow.
So I think you're involved in Pizzagate.
Okay.
I don't believe in like the Pizzagate narrative. I believe that like there are human trafficking organizations and child trafficking organizations, but that specific story just didn't make sense when you looked into it.
What didn't make sense?
That there are no accusers stepping forth, that there are no bodies, there is no evidence.
Well, like, is that like for a lot of things?
Well, you have to prove a negative. Usually there's some, and that's why I don't believe a lot of these things, is that there has to be at least some kind of indicator that this stuff is going on for me to, at least consider it. I mean, but there is no indicator except like I mean, that they're killing kids in this basement and they're using this place as a child trafficking hub. Like, there's better places and to do human trafficking than a public pizza parlor.
So you remember Jimmy Savile?
Yeah, I know about all the Jimmy Savile story.
Yeah, all the pedophilia and stuff, and really no one really came forward till after he died. I mean, he's still knighted. This guy is still knighted.
They wouldn't believe that he had done anything like that because of the fact that he was so popular. It was, again, one of those identity politics kinds of things.
Yep.
So you get people that believe in other people, regardless of the fact that they've done anything. They even gain that amount of trust because they have so many people around them, and it's so easy to pay people to become your supporters. So you have all these people that are surrounding you saying how great, how wonderful these people are when you've done actually nothing. Or very little. You're just a public figure. We have to stop with this identity politics kind of thing and say, oh, but I like so-and-so. Well, you're going to influence a couple other people that they like that person too, because that's how you continue that narrative. You get somebody paid off to, and I believe it's called, I can't remember what it's called. There's a special term for that, where you get people surrounding you. They talk about how great you are, and then nobody knows if you really are or not. They just trust the people that told them.
Cult of personality?
That's what I said a lot.
Well, my thing is, Gary Glitter cannot be a pedo. I mean, come on. You know.
Look at that football coach at Penn State.
Sandusky. Jerry
Sandusky.
Yeah, Sandusky. Yeah. Nobody ever believed that he did anything.
And the people who covered that up, they got something like 8 months, and one of the guys didn't even get 8 months in prison because he had house arrest because he wasn't feeling well.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
It's also important that we don't make comparisons when we shouldn't. Like, yeah, I mean, Jerry Sandusky and Jimmy Savile were both pedophiles who were, kind of almost endorsed by institutions. But that, that's doesn't indicate that Pizzagate is true. Just like,
but that doesn't just indicate that Pizzagate shouldn't be considered at all either.
But it has nothing to do with it. That's my point.
Yeah,
like it's irrelevant.
I know. I do not agree.
I don't agree either.
I don't agree. There is a global network.
Yes.
See, but I'm not saying that there isn't. I'm just saying that to compare some of these cases to Pizzagate, they're not related to each other at all.
No, they're not. I'm not saying they are.
That's what when you're in a court, they use other cases to compare it.
Well, there needs to be due process.
Yes.
Jennifer Lopez, I just saw a story of her where she's like, I'm going to share my Me Too moment. When I was going for a movie role, one of my first movie roles, a director asked me if I would take my top off and show my boobs. I felt very, I felt like I might lose my job if I didn't take my shirt off for the scene, but I didn't do it anyway. Oh, Jennifer, you're so brave. Dude, really? I mean, no. Or someone who was asked to perform nude in a movie about Woodstock. Melissa, what's her face from Little House on the Prairie. She did a walkthrough of the Doors movie, and she, accused Oliver Stone of sexual harassment because he gave basically a floor talk to everybody saying, look, this movie may contain some nudity, blah, blah, blah. If you're not comfortable with that, we understand. We may or may not be able to use you because the scene that you're in may include some nudity. We just wanted to let you know. Harassment.
Well, exactly. And the other thing is, you know, like what SAG needs to do is, I can understand if a director needs to have an actress nude and he needs to kind of be by himself to think about a scene, or with a group of actors who are nude to think about a scene. But what SAG should do is they should put a monitor in there the same way that cops do. Put a female monitor in the room with those two people or whatever.
Right.
You know, it's that easy. Like, so I can understand both sides of it. It's not like there are artists out there. I mean, not everyone who paints nudes is a pervert.
Right. It's not like Matt Lauer in his office with his
having a female monitor in there does not guarantee that anyone's protected. There are females that will protect themselves. And
so what do you suggest? Just banning that, like, a director can never be alone with an actress under any, like, kind of questionable circumstances like that?
Or an actor, you know. I mean, there's been those situations too.
Yeah, I mean, put a male monitor in there or something, you know. Someone who works for SAG, Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah. Maybe just have a voice recorder.
You got to be able to see some things. Like, you got to be able to see how scenes play out, and you have to be able to look at light and form. So, and sometimes you have to do that without other people around you.
Or
that's just the way it works.
I know.
See how it is on film. If it's a movie, if it's a Broadway show, that's completely different. So,
and I think sexual harassment the definition has gotten really fucked and stupid. It's like, man, you know, it's like, he touched my knee, you know, and it's like,
in the workplace,
big deal.
In the workplace, it has gotten to the point where a girl doesn't like someone. He was staring at me. He was leering at me. I felt uncomfortable. I felt threatened. He looked at me in a threatening manner. He looked at me in a sexual manner, blah, blah, blah.
The male gaze.
The male gaze. Hold
I
on.
hate that.
Stevie, is this it?
Quit threatening me, Dave. Quit threatening me.
Sorry. That's actually just my look. It's like,
you do that when you're tired or confused.
don't look at me. I'm like, what? Oh, okay.
A great interview that I saw is that Vice News did against Jordan Peterson. And the thing is, I posted it once. Basically, it's they edited a lot out, a lot of the context of an interview. Just imagine if we did an interview with someone and then we cut it down to 5 minutes to make that person look like they don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
You know, and they talked about like sexual harassment in the workplace, and that it's a problem, but should we ask questions of like why, and like is it an equal basis? For example, should women wear makeup when they're at the workplace? Because I mean, in Jordan's perspective, he's saying makeup, the red lipstick, is to kind of like, humans don't have you know, like typical apes, they or certain animals, they go in heat. And, you know, part of that heat is they'd have like reddish lips, pinkish.
Are you calling the women in here apes?
Hey,
Go ahead. I don't
know. Well, we are all apes.
Yeah.
But anyways, just I mean, the point was, what's the purpose of the lipsticks? You can be professional without the lipsticks.
Right.
The lipstick and stuff like that, or perfume. Should women wear perfume in the workplace?
Never. Just
perfume is a definite no. Especially if it's Lady Gaga perfume. Don't wear it. You don't want to smell like a slut in the office.
Right.
I've heard Jordan Peterson's points about sexual signaling and unconscious sexual signaling and all of this.
Yeah.
And, some of them are valid. I mean, these are sexual signals. I just think that people on both sides just need to relax. Humans are sexual creatures, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're sexual creatures, and there's a difference between them being sexual creatures and the abuse of power.
Right.
But see, I don't get the whole makeup argument, because then again, if you got somebody, and this has happened to any woman that has worked, and you wear makeup, and then the day that you don't wear makeup, everybody's like, "Are you tired? Are you sick? What's wrong with you?"
Yes.
And then it's like, then everybody's like thinking like, "Oh, you're barely hanging on by a thread." It's like, "No, I just didn't wear makeup today."
Yeah, I mean, and in cases like that, it's the society that's forcing you to adopt sexual signaling. But
I don't.
But the fact of wearing makeup, the fact of wearing high heels and these things,
or when they
are sexual signals.
Make me comb my hair and shave. Those sexist motherfuckers.
I mean, you might not want to put off sexual signals, but the society almost forces you to do it. Because then they start saying shit like that. Like, oh,
nobody forces me to do anything or not do anything. I do whatever the fuck I want.
Well, it gets to a point where if women, we're in a factory, so for the most part, you don't get crazy unless, things are hanging out. But you can't wear spaghetti straps. You can't wear tank tops with less than, I believe it's 6 inches of a strap. So t-shirts are fine. Sheer t-shirts, no. Neon bras underneath the t-shirt, no. No bra under a sheer t-shirt, no. Anything that's that is a distraction. Very short skirt with no underwear, no. And all of this has happened, by the way. So it's like you have a bunch of guys like all distracted and getting hit by moving vehicles and shit. But it's like.
Well, and a lot of this stuff is so culturally dependent too. I mean, if we were in Iran, like sexual signaling would consist of like a woman showing her ankle or something fucked up like that, and then all the guys would react the same way you're describing. They'd be like, "Holy fuck, she's got."
She showed her eyebrow. Yeah,
she's got 2 inches of skin.
Going back to what Evan was talking about with the interviews, I remember the whole Amy Fisher, Joey Buttafuoco thing. And when Amy assaulted Joey's wife, they interviewed the wife, and she was remarkably, coherent and eloquent for someone who got shot in the freaking head. But the editing made her look like a blithering idiot. And it just, to me, you have someone who was assaulted by the mistress of your cheating scumbag husband. And I didn't really understand why whoever was doing the interview did it, other than maybe create some theater. But editing, to me, you have to be respectful when you're editing. And be respectful of the person you're interviewing.
Yeah, on some level, they have to be aware that they're doing it because they're editing it in a context. It's like they're not leaving the context of what they said intact. It's like they try to mess it up by taking clips here and there. Yeah.
Mm.
Or listen, I'm not a huge fan of Hillary Clinton, but she's already damned herself. Can you stop with the pictures of her going? I mean, every single picture. It's like that Satan amalgamate thing, or every Trump picture. Or whatever. Obama with the fucking, Illuminati eyes.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Trigger time.
Obama's got a laser focused look, doesn't he?
I've seen that one.
Laser.
Yeah.
I see the most Hillary Clinton pictures from H.A. Goodman.
Yeah.
Every time. There's a tweet or YouTube.
There's that one right there where she's.
Holy shit! Hillary Clinton looks a lot like George Clooney.
What? No. Don't do that to me.
But bringing up that editing part, if you read Susie's article, she discusses how the movie Risk, instead of being released in its raw format like Julian Assange would do with WikiLeaks, it was edited by the author, and it was edited deceptively. There was very little put in there about the women that are around Julian Assange. So a lot of people that are doing a lot of these editing have their own narrative that they're trying to push, and they're using this document, the raw data, the raw video that they're receiving, and trying to change it into a method of presentation that's going to support whatever it is that they want to support.
Well, what was the narrative, that Julian is inapproachable to women?
It was more of a narrative that he's chauvinistic.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that one before. I think we all have. I mean, he was just straight up accused of rape.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, that pisses me off.
Yeah, so that's why releasing the raw data is normally the best route to go if you're going to find out anything for yourself, rather than have a picture painted for you by an artist.
You know, I have...
Zach, that's a great way to put it, because, you know, video editing is an art, and it's not an incidental process that you just bust out. It takes hours to create.
Right.
Yeah, like and a lot of the raw footage just ended up on the floor.
Yeah. You know, and I agree with you, Dave. Like, you know, editors have a responsibility to the truth.
Right. Now, I come on here and eat a lot, but if there was a 24-hour movie about me or a 24-hour movie about James, and every single piece of footage on James, he didn't have his shirt on, or every piece of footage I was eating something, that would spin a particular narrative.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a slob, or he likes, you know, I don't know, hula dancing or something. I don't know what the hell.
It's the hair. It's the hair.
You know, or our New Year's party where we're drinking or having a good time or whatever.
And falling asleep.
These guys are just a bunch of drunks. They don't have anything to say, kind of thing.
Oh, and then you yelling 420 kratom.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like a Tourette's maniac.
We could throw in my LSD stories, and then we could also throw in that kid that passed out on the stream. Remember him? When his mom had to drag him off the fucking stream.
Well, actually, there was a I don't know who did the video. There's a video on Debbie Lusignan where it was just clips of her pissed off and talking about her bouts of depression, and it literally said, is she fit to cover the news or something like that? That was a while ago.
Debbie's not a journalist. People put all this fucking responsibility on Debbie, like she's the voice of some movement and she's got to watch what she says and whatever. And
she doesn't have to watch what she says.
Just a woman in her living room, dude. Yeah.
She is a citizen journalist, though, to a certain degree, and people.
Yeah,
to a certain degree, like she's like a hobbyist.
Yeah.
Really. You know, but people put all this shit on her, man. Like, I don't get it. Like, they want her to say things, or they want her to not say things. There's a bunch of drama around Debbie. It's ridiculous.
I'm going to show you guys one of my most favorite pictures of Assange.
What? Yeah. Okay. Well,
is he dressed up as Prince?
To speak to.
Oh yeah, I remember this one.
Garden's point with Debbie is the thing is I hear Debbie say a lot of things, get together, work together, etc. I never really see her do that. So she says one thing, doesn't really do the other part. It's like she has a lot of influence, but she doesn't use that influence. She just stays in that bubble. I like what she says, but she doesn't do what she says.
I disagree with you a little bit. I think that she She was burned in 2016, and she has her small group.
Who wasn't burned? We've all been burned.
Well, hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
She has her small group with Tatsu and with Claudia and with her small, her small group. Now, does she talk to a ton of people? No. She doesn't really do interviews with very many people outside of maybe Jamoral and one or two people here or there. She has completely unplugged to the political process, and she does her own thing. I don't know what she does as far as organizing or anything anymore. But I do hear your point. I think maybe she's burnt out or whatever, but she organizes with the people she trusts. And I think...
Isn't it okay that that's all she does?
I mean, if you just want to be...
I mean, does she have to be everything we want her to be?
No, she doesn't. I'm just saying it's like, hey, I want people to feel free to come in here and talk about whatever they want, and then people come on and I just,
I think
she flips out on him.
Are you upset?
She flips out on him.
Am I upset?
No, I don't. But I think maybe she's just like, look, here's the information. Do with it what you will. This is my role right now. I am a truth teller. I'm no longer an organizer anymore.
Right.
Yeah, like her message, I'm not really sure where you're getting the whole thing that Debbie's calling for mass organization, because she isn't.
No.
Like, she specifically states that people should work on themselves.
I know where he's going. I think he's caught a couple of videos where I've heard her too, where she doesn't know what to do anymore except for maybe organize within your community and all of that.
She suggested.
Yeah. Does she do that in her community? I have no idea. She doesn't film it. I don't know.
I don't know. I just accept everybody's gift or whatever they want to do as good enough for them. It's good enough for me. I don't have to make them do anything.
My gift is hairstyles.
Oh, yeah. It's so lovely.
But to Ebon's point, like, I kind of know another thing I think you were getting at, dude, which is that, like, Debbie invites discussion, right? And then when you disagree with her, like, she whaps you. And, like, she won't discuss the issue. She won't acknowledge, like, any of your points. And she just goes kind of berserko on you. So that, in that sense, like, she does do the opposite of what she preaches.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Let's organize unless I disagree with you.
I've had Debbie go berserko on me a few times.
Oh, so that's because you troll her.
Well, you troll
chat. I see it, Garden.
Who doesn't go nuts on you?
Yeah.
I chat it. I troll a bit, but then there's other times. If you look when I argue with her about the shootings or about some other issues.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen any of that.
Yeah,
she just gets straight up. She just straight up gets, like, pissed, and she won't, like, I'll give her an honest point. I'll ask her about it.
One out of your 20 comments.
Yeah.
And she'll just, like, she won't address it, and she goes berserk.
Well, you know,
I've never.
If you pushed my buttons as much as you push hers, I would be turning you off, dude.
I've never seen.
Butterfly.
I've never seen TYT go after Gnome.
Or CNN.
Yeah.
True. Or MSNBC. I'm sorry.
Or Hillary Clinton's Gardner.
Or Justice Democrats. Or Wolfpack.
You're right. I'm a bully.
You are sometimes.
Against innocent Wolfpack and they've never done anything to me.
Gardner, he's a bitch. He's a mother.
Perhaps I should start supporting.
Oh no, that's my song. Don't you ruin.
Perhaps we should all start supporting them.
But I don't know. Like we all see differently. I mean, I understand that there's people you definitely want to protect, no matter. But I also feel it's the not cult of personality is one thing, but also clean up your own house is just like I mentioned Jimmy Dore all the time. It's like, remember, free Jimmy Dore, leave TYT, all this other stuff. And it always gets concentrated on that. And when he can make fun of and criticize CNN, MSNBC, DNC, and all this stuff that we all agree with, but then he just ignores it or defends it when TYT does it. Or just
I know.
does it.
It's disgusting.
It's a phenomenon.
I mean, Jimmy isn't a kid. Like, TYT is 20 million plus in debt to those investors. That's the way investments work. Like, you have to pay them back.
How much?
And plus, like, you know, they want to make something off of it. So, like, it's $20 million plus that they're in debt to these people.
Wow.
So that's what an investment is. That's a fucking child knows that. So to suggest that Jimmy doesn't know that is ridiculous, especially when he calls it out, you know, when other people do it.
I think Steve Jobs put it best. Steve Jobs was actually very brilliant, scarily brilliant, when he actually said, people in the United States of America want to be controlled. And he's absolutely correct. They want to be led. They want to be controlled. There's a lot of pushback against, there was a lot of pushback against him for saying that. There's a lot of pushback for myself whenever I repeat what he said. The reason why I say that is because the people of the United States don't want to learn two different operating systems. They don't want to learn an Android for their phone and then learn their Macintosh operating system for their tablet and then learn their Linux system for their computer, their PC. They want to have everything outlined for them, everything to work the same. They want to have that winning formula that they believe is a winning formula every single time. That creates a conformity where you conform into these are the only options that we have. So we must continue to keep doing these things that don't get us what it is that we want. And we can never think outside of the box because we're always inside that controlled box. That's why I try so hard all the time to say, we need to think outside of that box. We need to bypass the system. We need to realize that there are other systems out there. When I hear people talking about socialism and capitalism and talking about those being two separate types of systems, no, they're the same system. You want to say we need socialism. Well, you already have socialism because you're in that type of system. Well, we need more capitalism. No, you already have capitalism. The United States of America, are a mixed economy, a mixed system between these two things. So it's either going one way. This is why they have the left-right paradigm. It's either going this way to the left or it's either going this way to the right, but it's the same exact system. So we need people to think outside of the box and think of new systems that might possibly work.
True. One quick one before you go, Dave. So, and I like to mention is there are things we just need to fix, and fixing it is easy. And what a lot of people seem to do is just like a sinking ship. They want to steer the ship to go in a direction without fixing the initial problem first. And all you're doing is just turning the ship and going nowhere. So we got to fix the ship first, then we can steer in the direction that we want to go. Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
Well, to kind of go in the direction you're talking about and to talk about what you're talking about, us leading each other, that's fine, but most people don't know how to negotiate. They just want, they want what they want. Let's just, for a second, take the students who didn't go to class to protest Parkland. That's okay. That's cool. I understand that. Some of them got detention. It became a news story. To me, that's not a news story. But let's just, for argument's sake, say that these students stay out 3 weeks, a month, 2 months. Should they be given any kind of leeway as far as college admissions if they're a senior, or should they be allowed to graduate if they don't have enough time or any of that? Should they be given a chance to graduate later or whatever? People have, if they have a legitimate thing that they want to protest and they're going to protest, first off, we can't strike. Second off, those who do strike, they have consequences that come to them. They won't get paid for the time that they struck. And some may even get fired. You gotta learn. You gotta learn consequences for what you do.
The school isn't for political shit. Period. You're there to learn your writing, your arithmetic, your science, your history, music, or whatever. School is not supposed to be the indoctrination moment. And I found out that there's a teacher there that took on a class to indoctrinate them about this stupid the gun laws and the NRA and all that. So the last 2 years, they've been indoctrinated over the NRA by this teacher. Got a picture of him today, and it all made sense. I was wondering, why the hell are they, they are just too indoctrinated against the NRA to be normal. Kids aren't like that. I don't care. They're normally wanting to know where they're going to meet their friends the next day,
My thing is, school should be about learning how to think for yourself. That's it. Not pounding opinions in people's heads.
Okay. So, I know some people don't like the thinking outside the box and things like that, trying something new, but from my perspective in technology, startups, small companies, they can easily adopt new technologies, and it takes them places where bigger companies can't really adopt those types of things. The company that I'm working at, AAG, right now, which I won't be pretty soon, I've told them solutions to use that were pretty mainstream 5 years ago, and they didn't listen. They said, no, that won't work. Let's just do the stuff now that we know works. And they're always behind, and that stuff doesn't work. There's still problems with it. If they would have just taken a chance, because there's prototypes, there's stuff in the real world where other companies are actually doing it, making it work, and they don't listen. And now 5 years have passed. Now they're starting, but now it's too late. That ship has sailed. You got other companies who are 5 years ahead of them, and they're still looking towards the new stuff that's out there, while AIG is still catching up. And these types of things kill progress. And
to touch on a couple of points, first of all, to your point, Fly, about people wanting to be controlled. I mean, the same thing can be said about humanity in general, not just people in the U.S. But I think that our frontier culture has lent into that. Because you're out on the frontier, man, you need some strong leaders. But anyways, as far as something that needs to change about our society, Frank Herbert talks about in Dune, talks about the way machines condition people rather than us using machines end up using us. We end up devoting huge amounts of our time and energy to them. We shape our minds and bodies around their functionality. And so if we want to talk about paradigm changes, I think that's one of the big paradigm shifts that's going to happen. We're going to have to figure out a society that's based on human consciousness rather than machines.
But there's such a disconnect with the human consciousness and the lack of any spirituality in the world right now.
And if you look at the AI in video games, that's where AI kind of made the biggest boost. Just think of AI in chess. That's where the Big Blue and all this other stuff started. It's all they can't think of something new. That's when AI has evolved to a dangerous part, is when they can think outside of how we think. or how we tell them to think. And what they have the advantage of now without that is just being able to process things faster, quicker, and just things that the human brain can't do. We're just not fast enough, even though we've got a lot of stuff in our brains, neurons, all the stuff that do things very fast, just not the way that machines can do it.
Well, now if we get the concept that like people are shaping themselves and around these machines, right? Mm-hmm. Now we can broaden that concept out to people are also doing the same thing in relation to economic systems and, you know, different facets of society that aren't necessarily healthy. Okay, like we are serving the society. The society is not serving us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not serving the furtherance of the human condition. Like these systems are in many senses out of control. Even the richest and most powerful people in the world only have so much control over them. Now, it's kind of comforting to believe that there's like an ultimate master out there who's like pulling all the puppet strings, maybe. But that's just not the case. These systems have developed a life of their own and they've become like super dangerous. And we have to get control of them. We have to bring them back under human control. These economic systems and these energy systems. And, you know, they're out of control. Like if we remove one part from them, like let's say we were to remove a George Soros or like remove Putin or whoever, right? The system would just replace them with someone similar or enough people to like make it functional, a small group of people. Yeah. So if the systems are out of human control, like how do we get them back under our control?
Reboot.
They're too dangerous to dismantle. They're like a goddamn time bomb. Like if you dismantle them that way, like you get things like, you know, you have a revolution, pipelines get broke, chemical factories blow up, nuke plants go untended. So it's like a time bomb. Like to dismantle it, you have to be very careful.
But every time a big country or empire crumbles, it pretty much starts from scrap. You know, they go, okay, this didn't work. Let's toss it, write up something new, and redo it. And the thing is, it can't. I mean, the concept of the United States is very new. I mean, it was. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a trial and error, and this is going to be. we know that it's a big problem now, but
sure as hell is trial and error.
Yeah. So this is going to be our first major trial, and there's going to be a United States 2.0 in the future. Just how it's going to happen and how horrible it's going to be is another thing. But
can't we just ditch that name and be called something else?
What would you name it?
I don't know. Just anything else.
Yeah, the new United States of America. Just like we have, like, remember York? We just put new in front of it. So it's
just remember, every time the world says United States of America, they're saying it like it's a cuss word. So
yeah.
I don't think that would ever leave. And so maybe if we got called something else, I don't know.
I'm just glad that many people in other countries realize that it's not the American people that are doing this to all of them.
Oh, that's all I beg.
That are constantly bombing Yemen and Syria, meddling in Somalia and Libya.
It's beyond belief. Like, all we got to do, it would stop a lot of this shit. It would stop the diplomatic assassinations. It would stop these crazy fucking fights. Okay, we have to agree on a route for these pipelines, and we have to agree on energy distribution to EU. If we can come to agreement on those two fucking points, like, it would be all right. And I think it's completely fucking doable. I mean, we've overcome much more extreme diplomatic challenges than this as a globe.
See you, Dave. I didn't know he was leaving. Matt mentions a good point. He says, like, our systems persist because the human part of the mechanism within them are habitual, comfort-seeking, change-fearing animals. I think for a lot of us, I think we've probably been through a lot of change where, our comfort levels, we've been through the change where it gave us a lot of discomfort. Our comfort levels, it went past our comfort levels. But a lot of people choose not to go there. Like, take fishing, for example. I'll fish when it's snowy, windy, wind chill's like -17, and I'm okay, but people don't want to, even other fishermen won't want to go past that comfort level to fish that way.
You know what, though? I went through that uncomfort level, and I'm still breathing. And now it's like, take me all the way. Please just hurry up and get this pain over with, so that, because I feel like I'm the type that would rather just go head on. I'm no toe tipper in a cold lake. I just go right in, get it done and over with, and then I'm all done.
But and plus it gets easier. You know how you got past that comfort level, so the next time it's just easier for you. But the longer
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just got to remind myself along the way.
Yeah.
Remember, you did just fine.
Yeah.
Don't freak.
Yeah. And learning something new is the same way, and just trying something new is the same way. And I think people when they make a mistake, their first thought of, I just didn't do it as good as I could have with that plan, so I'll just execute it better. But they don't see the plan as being the problem. They just see it as them executing it. It just wasn't as good as it should be in order to make it work.
It's kind of like me in this OBS. And it's like, I knew you're busy. Everybody's busy right now. So it's like, okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to wait around, or are you just going to dig in and get over your fear? And you know what I figured? I was afraid of failing to figure it out on my own and feeling stupid. And now the more I do it, and the more it's like, oh, okay, well, this is what this does. This is what this does. So now I at least got that short little clip up.
Yep. And I think Bruce Lee mentions it good too, is play seriously or seriously play.
Mm-hmm.
Is don't take it too seriously. Just have some fun with it. And also, if you're going to play, seriously play, just really, really go for it and just have a good time. Because if you're not having a good time, why do it? Is another thing.
Yeah, once I got the hang of it, it's like, wow, this is like decorating my room.
Yeah. Just like I'm a perfectionist, and when you paint you're gonna paint a wall, your whole room,
mm-hmm.
You're gonna put a little bit of paint on the wall, different colors, just to see which one you like, and you can't be afraid of making that small little mess at first, because it's gonna be painted over with. Those little mistakes are going to be covered up and gone. But
I know. It's like, I'll show you.
As far as Dave's point,
see the up at the corner there where I was getting the white part of it, and then
mm-hmm.
part of the other wall color. It's fucking bugging me. I hate it. I look at it and I see the mistakes.
Just stop looking at it.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Dave was talking about those kids and like, what are they're striking or whatever. They get some kind of college credit or some kind of break. I wouldn't worry too much about those kids. Like, people are donating and donating again. Like, both as individuals. Yeah, like that's what I think what Dave was talking about, right? He was like, like what's going to happen with these kids? Are they going to...
Oh, they're having to make it up.
Yeah, are they going to have to make it up or whatever? Or...
Yeah, they are.
That's fine. I think these kids are going to be fine. For, as morbid as it sounds, in many ways, this was a lucky break for a lot of those kids. There's a lot of kids in that school that probably wouldn't have been able to go to college if this didn't happen. And that's a shame to say, but it's the truth. So I guess there are positive things to come out even of the worst events. There are kids that are going to get a better education and a better shot at life because of this. Simply because of media attention and because of people's generosity. And that's a good thing,
Yeah. All right. Well, we got sci-fi people here. Let's talk aliens again, because I really want to get into aliens.
Oh, before I have my daughter from Kentucky and my 4 grandkids coming. My daughter, they lost their grandmother. And so my daughter and my other 4 grandkids are going to be here for 2 weeks. So you know what that means? I'm going to be scarce because I'm going to be playing Nana to 5 grandkids.
Yeah.
So
enjoy that time. It's been 2 weeks. I miss my kids crazy. I do the Zoom session with them. And I think my son's getting a little bit aggravated. He's like, I see my dad, but I can't really interact with him. I just see him. So yeah. But yeah, it's my daughter loves her grandma, so it's grandmas, I would say. So
that's crazy, man. Those kids are gonna grow up in Nebraska. They're gonna become shooting farmers.
Oh dear God, my 4 are growing up in Kentucky and out in the boonies. I mean, out in the really rednecky part.
There's a lot of advantages to living out there rather than growing up in a city. It's just a trade-off of what you want.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's going to be funny? She is the one that voted for Trump and was pissed off at me to the point of blocking me on Facebook. She's going to be so happy that I am no longer a Democrat.
I mean, when kids get older, they can move to a city if they want and learn how to get along in a city just fine.
Yeah.
But growing up, where you actually have to go out and do things and you have the opportunity to stay healthy and, keep your strength up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good environment in a lot of ways.
And just slow down. I mean, in the city, you're just work, more money. Things are expensive, getting more expensive, work more, keep working. It's just insane. You really don't get to do what you want when you're working so much for money.
Sorry.
For me, if I can live fine and just fish and work on some projects, software related or not, or just kind of take time off to do art, literature type of stuff that I enjoy, and just do it for me, just take time off and just I really wanted to do this. No one really may get any use out of it. I just wanted to do it, type of thing. And I think that's important. I think when you always try to do stuff in service of others, you kind of lose yourself. And then you can't really recharge in a way where it's useful to people. You just end up being just kind of a blah, I guess you could say. Yeah.
And the other thing is there's different cities. It's a different situation, right? The cities out east, it's like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of stuck there. In a lot of the cities out west, you can drive a half hour and you'll be completely out of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my mom and was my grandma, and she had 4 kids, and they all grew up on a farm up one of these creeks, and they had everything right there that they needed, plenty of land. The kids would run around. They either ride horses or walk to the school, stuff like that. And I know when my mom was about 12, they moved from the farm out into we would consider it a city, but you know, it was like a town of about 1,000 people, but there was all these fast food restaurants, and then like their health declined so fast just from I mean, it's like a 5-minute drive, but just the difference between growing up and having a place where you can take care of yourself, have room to run around and play, and then go from that to like the city life. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. One of the things I'm gonna do is get back in shape. So I'm gonna post pictures and a video of just me. And man, it's gonna look horrible. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have my shirt off, and you're gonna see my gut and my wimpy pecs, and you know, you can already see all my chubby cheeks, all the fat and stuff. And so you just don't have time to work out in the city. You just don't, because you're just working, commuting, and then finally you get home, it's family time, and then now this. But I feel like in the slowed down type of environment in the country, I think I can afford to spend an hour and a half just to kind of like, or just parts throughout the day to just, you know, walk, jog, jump rope, punching bag, etc.
You know what a great investment is, man? Is a pair of snowshoes. Like that will allow you to go out in the winter and do things.
Yeah,
you'd expect.
Well, I don't mind going out and do things even without snowshoes. It just, yeah, like I just heat up fast. It's funny because when I snow shovel, I don't need to. I just like helping out. Is I just go out there and it's really cold weather, and I just have this shirt on, pants, and gloves, and then I just, because my metabolism's so fast that I just start getting really warm really fast and sweating. If I have like a coat on or something, it just gets all wet from my sweat. So
when you're walking through, I mean, a lot of places are covered in 2 or 3 feet of snow. Like in order to get to them at all, like unless you want to trudge through that for miles.
Yeah,
snowshoes are going to save you.
I've seen people with snow skis, or is that what it's called?
Like cross country skiing.
Cross country skiing. Yep, I've done that, man. That stuff is a workout.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I was like, this looks easy enough, and then your hips start getting sore. I'm like, holy crap, this thing is tough.
It's easier just to walk, man. I don't really understand why people are into it so much. It's fun for a little bit, but when you do it for miles and miles, it's like you just want to take off the skis and start walking.
Yeah, I know. I just felt like my hips were locking up. I never felt that feeling before. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then when you do take
shoulders,
and then when you do take them off and you're walking, you just don't walk right. It just feels funny that you're walking.
I mean, you can go faster and like you can go down the little hills as you're going across country or whatever, but I don't know, man. I would just rather snowshoe. That's the best way to cross snow-covered landscape.
Yeah.
But I got to get in shape too. I'm in shitty shape. I still have my core, but I messed up my back, so that's kind of like made me a bit lazy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, like I've just been working all the time.
And that's so not only is that bad for health, you could incur medical bills, but you're also more injury prone when you're not healthy, when you're not in shape. It's like I've gotten in more injuries by not being in shape than I ever was, and getting into accidents all the time. But my body seems to was able to handle it. Like back problems, I get back problems here, neck problems, and all that. But you know, I just don't take the time to stretch. I don't take the time to work out, to build the muscles that need to support your structure.
Just get a pair of 10-pound weights, and while you're sitting there like chatting or whatever, just sit there and that's what I do when I'm working. Sometimes I'll take a break and do it, but it's not enough by any means.
I mean, here I just don't feel like I don't have space and whatnot, but most of the time I do. When I'm listening or watching, I'm always doing something else. I'm doing if I like, what I like finding are those YouTube channels where they're just talking and they don't really show anything. Like they won't share the screen, show you anything like that. So I don't feel like I'm missing out. So I'll just go cook. Yep. Do some push-ups, pull-ups.
And what I have here is a Pilates band. It's like really, it's like a tension thing. And that's what I use to do my sit-ups with, you know, because you wrap it around your foot. Yep. And so that's what I do. I do like 100 of those a day.
Like I'll show you once I like I have all this workout equipment. It's just time and space I don't have.
This is the space that you need.
Yeah. Oh no, I've got so much stuff.
The other trick that you can do is you can tie like a piece of twine to a little dumbbell like that, and then tie the other end to like a little wooden like handle or cylinder or something, and you just sit there and you curl it up to like, you know, and then you curl it back down. And that really, I used to do that for fencing, and like it works.
You mean for like for your wrists?
Yeah.
Yep. I know that one. That's a good one.
Describe that again. I'm sorry.
Tie like a piece of twine to like one of those dumbbells, and then tie like a handle, like a piece of a broom handle or something to the other end.
So go ahead.
Yeah, and then just like twist do what Eben, go ahead and show it.
Yeah, so you keep your arms straight, and all you do is you just go this way to roll up the barbell, the twine, so it gets close, and then you can release it, and you could go the other way until it gets all the way back up. You're basically working your forearms and some of your pecs if you're holding up straight, and your shoulders. It's a great workout because it starts burning. It's one of those types of workouts.
Oh, that's what I like.
Yeah.
Yep, and then you could just practice like the basic like tension exercises, like, you know, hold your arms out for 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be great. I want to get my kids in shape when they're starting to grow up and build muscles. So I'm hoping that I could be in shape to do that with them, because I feel it's important. A lot of it's neglected these days, you know, health. But sometimes it's also over glamorized with the Olympics and sports and stuff like that. I just want them to be able to think critically on their own, and also be able to handle, be confident with what they can do with their body. Just be healthy, eat right as well. Just the stuff that you just want to pass on. Type of stuff.
We're all coming out of this winter slump too.
Don't forget the importance of other types of physical exercises too, like hand-eye coordination and like
video games.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, I like actual hand, not manipulating a controller.
Yeah.
But like one good thing for that, man, is the old kids toy, the paddle and the ball. Sit there and do that.
I suck at that. I can't do that. I suck.
If you want to improve your timing, like, you know, and your muscle coordination, start jumping rope.
Yep. And yeah, playing games. Remember the games where like you had that rubber ball and you hit it on the wall, and it's just basically handball?
Yeah. I loved playing handball when I was a kid. I don't think I could play it with a shit from now, but I used to be good at it when I was a kid.
Oh, what is that other game called kind of like that? Racquetball. I used to play that.
Yeah, I play racquetball a lot. I used to play racquetball a lot.
I missed that.
I played in a few years.
Yeah.
Well, we had a court like right down the street from us, so I was like, "What the hell?" I just bought a membership and like started playing like 3 times for goddamn months.
Kevin's always making a ruckus, even when he's not talking.
Oh yeah. I heard you guys talking about shit you had. You guys want to see what I mainly use?
Yeah.
Nothing?
Nothing?
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Do you just sit there and curl with that when you're just fucking around?
What is that?
Oh, I see. That's not a curling bar.
Is that and a push-up and a pull-up bar? Yeah, I like those pull-up bar stuff. Hey, Ellis too.
Ellis.
That's what I do. Just the weight bench, the 75 pounds on 60 plus the bars, like 10 or 15 pounds. I don't know. How I had to measure these damn bars is I just had to get on a scale and take them off, measure myself, and then pick them up and carry them on there. I know the weight bench bar one's just like a solid piece of iron. The thing weighs like 30 pounds, just the bar alone. It's not an Olympic, it's a standard size, so it's got the smaller ends on there. But this whole entire weight bench, I found somebody throwing it away. That's where I found it.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, so I just I literally put all the weights onto the bar, tossed it over my shoulder. It's like, I'm taking this with me. I was just walking by at the time. It was middle of summer. I was like, fuck, like 200 something, 230, 240 pounds thrown onto a bar, and then I got to lug it back to my house. Then I was like, by the time I carried that back, I'm like, okay, now I'm using the car to get the weight bench. 240 pounds on a shoulder on a fucking bar digging into you for 8 blocks is a bitch.
Yep.
Jesus, Kevin.
It was fucking uncomfortable, I'll tell you that much. But I was like, I'm not fucking leaving this here. This is mine now.
You bitch.
That's a good find, dude. I've been kind of thinking about where to put a weight bench in here. I'd have to take this, I'd probably have to remove this.
And also I got... Oh, shit. Don't fall.
This is also what I found a bunch of these, and I've been collecting them. They're a bunch of transformers. I'm going to build another welder.
But yeah, another thing, when you're walking around, you end up finding a lot of people throwing out shit that still can be, if they knew what to do with it, or, to take it to an area to where they can aggregate all these parts together, they can actually build some decent stuff out of it.
Mm-hmm. That's where that's from. Somebody was throwing it out. Was out by the dumpster. It was my desk. I had a whole brand new kitchen table, chairs, microwave stand. It was like they just redid their dining room and just threw everything out.
The microwaves are nice to grab just for they have a couple convenient things.
Hey Kevin, can we please let Redneck TV?
Yeah, I thought she was done there for a second.
Oh. Yeah, but especially when you get up in these nicer neighborhoods, they just throw stuff out because they've had it for a year. It's like there's nothing wrong with it. So,
jeez.
Yeah.
I lived in a nice neighborhood in Portland 3 or 4 years ago, and there was a Goodwill very nearby, drop-off spot. And it was just ridiculous, all the nice furniture and crap all the time, just being dropped off.
I'd like to add, each one of those transformers you saw came out of an individual microwave. So there's quite a few of them being thrown away, and I skipped over a couple of them because they were too small. All of those are 1,000 watts and above.
Wow. But it's way better to give it to Goodwill than throw it away. Or find a way to recycle it or use it.
I didn't know there was transformers inside a microwave.
Some of the newer microwaves, they swapped over to an inverter model, which is kind of stupid. I don't like that.
Are people too lazy to do garage sales?
Those transformers, it's more than meets the eye.
More than meets the eye.
Well, all you gotta do is the high winding that produces the high voltage for you. You have to take all that out and cut it out, and then you can wire it for 240, 120. You can wind it depends on how many transformers you're using and what voltage and current you're aiming for. I'm going to try to build another I still need more parts, but once I have it'll be 6 of them all together, and the 7th one will be used as a choke, and they'll be wired 3 in series, 2 in parallel. So it's 2 in series, 3 in parallel. That way, basically, you stick 2 120 coils together end to end in series, and you get a 240 coil effectively.
Do you have one? Oops, sorry.
Sorry. I'm going to go lay down, listen to you guys, and dream about aliens.
Yeah, Bob, going to bed too. You guys have a good night.
Right. Good night.
Oh, you guys can keep going on. I mean, unless someone else is gonna host, like Dave or Ryan, then I could end the stream and everyone can migrate there. If not, I'll just leave it on.
My battery's dying, so I'm gonna have to hop off.
All right. Good night, Fly.
Good night. Good night, everybody.
All right. I'll still be watching. Keep on going.
Okay. Oh, Kevin, do you have a picture of one that you said you're going to use them to make a welder?
I'm not digging through the pile of snow to get to the shed, to dig it out of the shed. The shed is literally full of crap. It's stacked up like you would not. Basically, have you ever played the game Tetris?
Uh-huh.
That's basically what I had to do to the shed to get everything in there.
I keep forgetting.
So I haven't pulled shit out of there in quite a while since we had to clean out the yard.
I keep forgetting y'all have snow. I'm already seeing like really warm spring days now. Okay, so somebody start a conversation.
All right, I might as well do it since I just came in here.
Anybody want to see what a smashed-in car door looks like?
Who was that was just talking? Was that's Alex?
Yes.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. So here's something that's been going on here recently. So recently, the two school boards that I most commonly represent with myself, the Mid-Del District in Oklahoma City and the Stillwater District, where I'm from, there's superintendent boards have just given the green light for the teacher walkout as an official notice of policy. So it looks like if the legislator doesn't come through with sufficient deal to remake up all the budget cuts that they've made over the years, plus raising the salary back at least 10,000, we're going to be on strike in about 2 weeks now.
Oh man.
Shirley, is that you?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay.
Hi, Cheryl. Well, that's sad.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. Here's the thing. Teachers in Oklahoma haven't had a raise in 10 years, and throughout this point in time, taking cuts after cuts after cuts after cuts through education in order to fund other ventures. Although what those ventures are is never exactly explained. Most likely, and it doesn't help that our government is run by genuine numbnuts who think that taxes cannot ever be raised ever. So, in the end, you get a bunch of people who don't want to raise money to pay for stuff.
How do taxes work on a federal and state level?
Well, I mean,
What's the difference between a federal tax and a state tax?
Federal taxes, the federal government. State taxes go to the state government. So that's.
Okay. Are you saying tax on a federal level to pay for things?
No, tax on state level.
Okay, because that's the only way that even makes sense for the most part. Okay,
Although they probably also believe that on the federal level too, so that's so the distinction kind of moot point.
Well, actually, it's a pretty major point. It's not a moot point. It's distinguishing between something that's using it and where all of it's coming from.
Yes, but you have to also remember, these are Oklahoman Republicans. So yes, it is a matter of distinguishing in terms of policy implication, but in terms of overall worldview, for these people, it's really a distinction without a difference.
Not really. Because you have federal money coming into the states. If you're saying you have to tax to make up for that federal money on a state level, you're literally lying. No. You know what I mean? Because this money isn't, I mean, on a state level, it's like there's only so many ways you have money to go into the state. You have the initial budget that's granted by the federal government, the budget they can tax from, and then you also have the budget that gets brought into the government via different states, imports or exports wise, and primarily Oklahoma, that'd be oil probably, and whatever taxes on that. I mean, you have multiple different things. The federal, or what would it? I guess the other ones just act as a way to connect other states to each other and other areas to each other to move and shift that money that the government originally spent into the economy around. Because it's like, as an individual person, if you're going to, start a business or anything, there's only so many chunks of capital floating around there that you have access to. There's the chunks of capital that general people own, like for houses and all that, but they've been degraded. There's the general chunks for wealthier people. There's, whatever's floating around for state programs and crap. There's, it's complicated. Sorry. What was your thing you were going with there?
It's just that, I mean, so ultimately at the end of the day, there's I was just explaining the reason why we are kind of at this point, because to be honest, most of the teachers are part of teachers associations, but they don't. But there isn't like a union, like they had in Wisconsin or in Michigan, or in New Jersey. So it's kind of not the same thing. On top of this, so you have the issue of dealing with the legislature, which is reticence to trying to raise any money of its own in order to pay for stuff. So, largely in the name of promoting free markets, I suppose some form of economic freedom, for which I can only assume comes straight from their arses and the page, and what small paychecks the oil industry is willing to lend to them in order to keep it this way. So now the big issue is that they're trying to create a disinformation campaign, trying to accuse the teachers of being selfish and not thinking of the kids, and basically striking just for themselves. So yeah, it's been fun. Also, to add insult to injury, they promised earlier this week that they would raise our that they'd be interested in raising our incomes, but the real catch of it all was that they were going to cut Medicaid and food programs for it. Yeah, I'm not joking about that part. It's literally the rich people shifting allocations and funds for the poor in order to fund basic public services, and thinking that is a meaningful compromise.
Just like what they do here in the U.S.
Yeah, Oklahoma's strange. Yeah.
And that's like in the city I'm from, they have a sugar tax. A 2-liter soda would cost 99 cents. Now it's about $3 damn. And also, the mayor wants to raise the property tax up to 6%. This is crazy. Talking about for schools. I don't mind helping schools, but they always been having a problem for years with the funding. And it's like, where's the money going?
Well, that's the thing. We don't have money. Like, we literally do not have money. The problem, there is no money coming in. We've lost, in the Mid-Dell District alone, we've lost $26 million. Overall in the state, we've lost $320 million.
Wow. You mean it
might have to be with the rampant infestation of temp agencies. That might be part of the problem there. And I've been down to Oklahoma. Those places are everywhere. Not to mention all the 7-Elevens and it's just I was right and smack dab. I've been up to the panhandle of Oklahoma. I've been right in Oklahoma City. I've been to all around that area. I don't even remember all the fucking places I've been. I was at near more a week before that fucking giant tornado came through and fucking wrecked the place. So I'm glad I got out of there before that happened.
You're talking more. That's a question of which one are you talking about?
Huh? Oh, the biggest one. It wrecked a Walmart and almost hit a library. Did it hit the library there? I don't know. But just like I've been down there and through there, and it's like Oklahoma sucks, man. It fucking sucks. It blows down there.
That's what she said. First off, second,
it's seriously horrible, man. It's absolute Oklahoma. It sucks.
It would be a lot better if it wasn't being run by yahoos.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Michigan sucks also, but Oklahoma sucks worse. I literally got robbed by cops when I was down there.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That's nothing new. They go around doing that. And Session is allowing them to do it.
Of course he would.
I had cops lie to me and say I had a warrant on me when I was in Oklahoma. I'm like, bull fucking shit, you lying piece of shit. It's like, run my name. Go ahead. It's like, show it to me. Prove me I have a fucking warrant, you lying piece of shit. Fuckers, it's like, oh, we got to take you to jail in the back of the car. And it's got these two motherfuckers, and I had people in the car, and they was like, oh, we're threatening to tow it away. And it's like, okay, how much fucking money you want? And then they uncuffed me and let me go. And then what I ended up doing is leaving it. I just fucking ditched the ticket. Fuck you. I ain't paying your extortion money. They can go to hell. But they tried to, that's literally that's the prime example of dirty cops. It is just awful down there. Fucking Oklahoma sucks ass. I don't even know why people live there.
Kentucky ain't all that better either.
I was driving through like West Oklahoma, coming, heading east, and it was like night. It was like maybe 11, 12, 1. And like the radio station, there's like one, maybe two radio stations, and it was like completely like ultra, event like Christian kind of programming. I was like, oh my gosh, it would be so bad to live here. Like, wow, it's so desolate. It felt like.
You got a restraining order on you? Garden? Where did he go? Did he leave?
Yeah, he left the room. He's in chat.
Holy shit.
Restraining order for what?
Yeah, something to do with TYT.
Oh, he's probably joking.
He's got to be joking.
You got a restraining order from TYT. Did you go and harass them? Did you go fuck with Shank?
But Shank is like the. I can't even take this fucking seriously. Just
Tank is such a dweeb.
Well, I have more respect for him. He wasn't so convinced of his own intellectual infallibility. Like, that's the biggest route to being to pissing me off.
Okay, somebody.
Hey, it's a former FBI intelligence female. Her name is Robin Gritz, and she's been holding her tongue for years because she's been going through it with the FBI. And the day before yesterday, she tweeted and called McCabe out and told him he's a liar. He ruined her life and her career. She had got glowing views from other people in the FBI, but McCabe was an asshole. And then look at last night, he gets fired. And now they show on her Twitter page she hasn't tweeted.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
You know, I think Trump is.
And you know, Flynn went bankrupt behind this crap.
I think
he's pissed off about that.
I think Trump is the only one that doesn't give a shit what's being said. He just goes on. He's a Twitter trooper.
And what pisses me off, my husband is pissed that McCabe was fired. I'm like, you gotta stop. You gotta stop watching cable news.
I wonder how many times he'll hear you say that before he finally.
And I told him, you Democrats, because Trump won, you guys lost your critical thinking. You really lost it. They have.
I'd love
He's
to
like,
be.
He telling me, oh, Trump is a snake. I'm like, Trump not no snake. McCabe need to be fired. And that's it. Kelly going to be fired too.
I'd say Trump is about as much of a snake as every other snake in there.
Yeah, he's a snake, but
the whole thing is literally like a snake pen.
And nobody want to believe Obama wiretap the White House. They want to keep thinking he's the Messiah.
We actually have. Shit. If that what was released is to be believed, he did do it.
Yeah,
Nixon was.
Susan Rice admitted it.
He should have just said that his rival, whoever it was that he was spying on, was working with the Russians, and then Nixon wouldn't have got impeached or whatever.
And they shouldn't even had a primary.
I really do wish I could be a bug sometimes on the wall in your household, Cheryl. I'd love to watch you two go at it.
Well, McCabe, he told me, oh, I don't want to talk about it now. Because I was about to go into it, but he didn't want to hear it.
Hey, Rebel, ask the NSA. They might give you a hand.
Yeah,
except for you wouldn't be a bug on the wall. You'd just be listening through the microphone in the house.
That would be
what makes me angry. Me and him always think the same way politically. And he just lost his mind. He don't go do research or anything. Oh, Obama didn't start X7 other wars in other countries. Name them. And I wrote down all the names. And he got quiet. And I'm like, go do the research. It's out there. Go ahead, Rebel.
It was like 3 days ago. I was sitting on my porch thinking about you two. And a question, a burning question popped into my head, and I forgot to ask you. what is it that keeps you guys together? What is
We've been together 29 years.
Wow.
Yeah, you've been arguing with each other so long, you'd be bored.
We're not, but this year. I'm telling you, this election broke up people's relationship, friendship, and we weren't going to allow that. We have our different views. He even said, I know you have your view and I have my view. So I'm not going to talk to you about politics. But he can't help it because they mention what Trump's doing. I'm like, okay. I want them to talk about the policies he's doing. What is Rick Perry doing with the EPA? I know he is doing some horrible shit.
Who isn't doing horrible shit right now? Jesus Christ. Yeah. You're right. This election brought out the monster.
Yes, it did. It really did. And I fought Obama and Hillary Clinton because they wanted to put her hashtag we with her. Hell no, we not with her. I think she broke her wrist to India too. She had another fall.
I know. Oh, she slipped in the bathtub.
She has a medical condition. She needs to retire and stay at home with her grandbabies. That's what she needs to do, but she's too fucking arrogant.
If she stays at home with her grandbaby, she might eat them.
Yeah, that too. Because they into that kind of shit.
Oh, that is just sick to think about.
I don't know. Rich people with money are into some weird shit.
No kidding, huh?
And I believe Jeff Bezos is involved in it too, because my son was asking me about him, Amazon, and I was breaking it down to him. He looked him up. He said, wow, he worth a lot of money. He said, he looks kind of creepy. I said, don't he? I said, probably a pedophile too. I wouldn't be surprised. Is he in talks getting a $53 million contract with the Pentagon?
I have no idea.
I heard about that. That's going around. He's the only bidder. No one else is going for it. He is getting too much power. And that's why Toys R Us is closing down.
Well, I'm totally not against Toys R Us closing down. I mean, kids can, I don't know, like...
that place is...
It's Chinese crap anyways.
First it was Kitty City years ago.
I don't remember that.
Oh, that was here, Kitty City. That was another toy store that was a competitor with Toys R Us, but they went out of business. Then you had KB. They went out of business. So we will not have any more toy stores here. I don't shop everything online for Christmas.
Boy, you guys are normally talkative.
Yeah. But that McCabe firing was awesome. And for Sessions to do it. I guess Sessions taking heat because he might be fired. And what is with him talking about giving drug dealers the death penalty?
I know.
I wish they would give warmongers the death penalty.
Yeah, that's who needs it. Obama needs it. Bush needs it. And I think Clinton needs it too, what he did in Somalia. They ran our fucking troops out of that country. And we back in there again.
Well, those are just like the upfront people. You also need to get the entire CIA, a large chunk of the FBI, probably at least the other 14 other security organizations, all of them, you'd also have to get pretty much at least 95% of Congress, because there's really not many. I mean, every once in a while you got some half decent people. Well, not even half decent. I'd say 1/8 decent people in there. It's for the most of it, we either need a huge infusion of brand new people, just actually follow the Constitution. Maybe get one person for 30,000, and then the elected. The senator things, it's kind of fixed how it is right now. But the representative wise, we could have an infusion of other brand new random people. It helped to get more. Because if they were to do the elections like that, you've got to have one representative for 30,000. So you'd have to start your district off from the highest population thing and just spread out till you get 30,000, or, kind of break it up proportionately for the area. So it kind of, I guess, for setting up the districts like that, it would be harder to tamper with. You know what I mean? Because once you set them up, you set them up.
Yeah, the Supreme Court here in Pennsylvania just changed that up in the district where that damn kind of land won.
What?
They did a lot of gerrymandering up there.
Yeah, it's screwy how they... it's one thing when the population moves around and everything like that. It's another thing to where, okay, literally everything's the exact same, except for somebody else got in power, and now they're just going to draw a line around the stupidest people they can find that they can trick. I mean, that's literally what gerrymandering is. I'm just going to draw a line around the people that I know I can do. That's what it is. It's like, holy crap, where I'm just going to draw a line around the people I know are already going to vote for me. Oh, and no, I never lose.
And they are nothing but do-nothing Congress. But I tell you one thing, the CIA and the FBI got a lot of stuff on Congress. They done bugged, they know what's going on in their computer. They got information on them. And a lot of them want to really come out and say something because they know what's wrong, what they're doing. They're not, Congress is supposed to vote for wars. And they have not been doing it at all. But they say, I can't say anything. I want to, but I can't. So I'm like, what are they down there for? You're supposed to be down there for the people. I'm sick of all the shenanigans.
Oh, I know, me too.
I'm kind of getting sick of politics. And
welcome to the other 66% of the country.
And I'm sick of having to know who's running in another state. But I have to know because that's going to affect their vote when they come into Congress or something. I hope Claire McCaskill loses voting on that damn bill. Boy, hashtag the resistance. They really resisting Trump.
Big time, aren't they?
Yeah. Voting to remove Dodd-Frank. We're going to have a crash. And it's going to be bigger than what it was because when Barack Obama let them off and didn't prosecute anyone, they're bigger than what they were before.
It's
Kevin's quiet.
It's kind of almost to the point where I'm just starting to just not get attacks and the panic attacks every time something bad happens, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, that's good you're not getting panic attacks. It's no sense in having that taking over your health. Because I'm not letting it take over me because it's just like, what can be done?
Yeah, I just used to have I could feel my heart, go through pain in my chest. I mean, it was just like I couldn't breathe. I mean, it was like, what the hell is happening to my world?
It's crazy.
I mean, I knew it was crazy all this time, but damn.
If WikiLeaks never came out, we really wouldn't have known all about this stuff. And that Russia investigation is only deflecting from what Hillary Clinton did and Barack Obama.
There were already some scandals, like election scandals and polling scandals. There would have been different things, but we wouldn't. I mean, that's a good point, though.
Yeah, that Russia scandal. Every time if you turn the cable news, Russia, Trump. I haven't heard them even talking about Ivanka supposed to be going to meet the South Korean leader. What position she has in the White House?
Who knows?
I told my husband that's Trump's White House.
Anybody want to hear Congress's powers, what they are constitutionally?
Sure.
This is
They're
Section
supposed to
8.
do a lot. They're not doing. What's them 6 guys that's suing Congress and they served them papers?
Yeah, we'll hear that. I want to hear what
the Section 8 of the Constitution or whatever, that's what it's labeled. I might have the wrong labeling. 1, the Constitution or the Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes, duty, imposts, and exercise to pay debts and provide for common defense, general welfare of the United States, but all duties imposed on excise shall not be uniform throughout the United States. 2, to borrow money on the credit of the United States. 3, to regulate commerce with foreign nations and among several states and with the Indian tribes. 4, to establish an uniform rule of nationalization and uniform laws on the subject of bankruptcies throughout the United States. So immigration and bankruptcy shit. 5, to coin money, regulate the value thereof, and of foreign coin, and fix the standards of weight measurement. 6, to provide for the punishment of counterfeiting and securities and current coins of the United States. To establish post office and post roads. 8, to promote the progress of science and useful arts by securing for limited times to authors and inventors the exclusive rights to the representative rights and the discoveries, which has been exploited kind of crazily. I mean, when you can get a patent for a fucking 100 years and just, you just can't keep rolling this shit over like this. It's one thing to, I got problems with it.
They decimated the art.
2, constitute tribunals inferior to the Supreme Court. 10, to define and punish piracy and felonies committed on the high seas and offenses against the laws of the nation. 11, to declare, that's Section 8, 11, to declare war, grant letters of marque, and reprisal, and make rules concerning captures on land and water. But to declare war, that's Congress's power. So they've, what was it? I forget the actual word. Where they not obfuscate, it's to hide or cover up. Though I don't know, they've shirked the responsibility. They pushed it off. 12, to raise and support armies, but no appropriation of money to that use shall be for longer term than 2 years. So they've broken that. To raise and support armies, but no appropriation of money of that use shall be for longer than 2 years. And they've fucking broken the shit out of that one. To provide and maintain a navy. That's 13. 14, to make rules for the government and regulations of the land and naval forces. 15, to provide for calling forth the militia to execute. See, they specifically make the distinction between military and naval forces and the actual militia. So people saying, well, the militia was supposed to only be the military or blah, blah, blah. It's like right here, the distinction's made between it. To provide for calling forth the militia to execute the laws of the Union, suppress insurrections, and repel invasions. 16, to provide for to provide for organizing, arming, and disciplining the militia, and for governing such part of them as may be employed in the service of the United States, reserving to the United States respectively the appointment of the officers and the authority of training the militia according to discipline prescribed by Congress, to exercise exclusion or exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district not exceedingly 10 miles square as may be cessoned, weird, of particular states, and the acceptance of Congress become the seat of the government of the United States, and to exercise like authority all over places purchased by the consent of the legislature of the state in which the same shall be for the erection of forts, magazines, arsenal, dockyards, and other needful buildings, and 18, to make all laws which shall be necessary and proper for carrying into execution the foregoing powers and all other powers vested in the Constitution and in the government of the United States or in any other department or office thereof. Yeah, that's kind of just I guess there's more once you read into here more, but that's just like the basic sort of things that it says under the Section 8 part, like directly what are their powers supposed to be.
And when was the last time Congress actually sat down and voted for a war? It was Iraq.
I don't even think it was that. Oh, was it Iraq or no? Did they actually have a thing where they said a declaration of war? Because I don't think there was ever a declaration of war for that. It was just, oh, we're just going to go bomb you. It wasn't saying, oh, yeah, we're
oh, that's probably with Syria.
I think the last time we actually declared a real war, like constitutionally declared one, was World War II. I think that's the last time we actually declared one.
Right.
Everything else from there has just been criminal, actually.
What's it called? Did they vote on authorizing force? Is that what it was called?
The National Defense Authorization Act?
Well, there was a vote.
That was 2012.
There was a vote for Iraq. I remember a lot of people all the time referring to, this senator voted for it, that senator didn't vote for it, so forth. There's definitely a vote.
Yeah, but it's not a declaration of war, though.
I don't think we've actually had a war technically.
If you're sending troops over there and bombs and munitions over there, it's a war. I mean, if we have any of our soldiers sent to a foreign country shooting and bombing things and setting up either permanent or temporary military bases, it's a war.
Well, they didn't consider that a war under Obama, putting us over there illegal in Syria. Flying drones executing people. And when he asked for Congress for money to send troops over there, they told him no. And he still stayed over there funding the terrorists.
Innocent Obama did that?
Oh, yeah, the Messiah did. Everybody keeps saying, oh, I wish he was still the president. Get the fuck out of here. Ugh.
The saint.
I don't want to see him on TV. I don't want to hear him talk.
Back in, the Iraq war days, as a good, fervent, pretty far left Democrat, I was against the war, anti-war person. But I remember one thing that somebody said that I thought was pretty true, I guess, was like when they said, well, we really don't know. We have to see how it plays out to really know, like, as it goes, like how it will go down in history. You know, referring to the Iraq War. You know, yeah, we can discuss this and this and this, but in one way, you know, I remember somebody saying, you know, it'll matter, you know, 10 or 20 years from now, what the things look like. And I guess, you know, there was Tunisia and then some other rebellions, and maybe like they're holding on to Afghanistan, waiting for something to change. Maybe they're waiting for something to change in Syria. I don't know. But yeah, like Obama got into office promising to get out of Iraq, and he didn't say anything about getting into Syria. But maybe he didn't know. Maybe there's all these plans and ideas and ideals and things and ways they wanted something to work out. But it doesn't matter, because you have to look and see how it actually works out. Like that saying or that reference was back then with under Bush. It applies to Obama's guidance and his leadership and what he did. So, you know, it depends on how it turns out later, really, to really know. I don't know, but I mean, I guess at the same time, you know, there's a lot of negative in the meantime, and I mean, we can know that like currently and presently in the last 10, 15 years. I don't know. I mean, how long it's been now?
Well, they're not getting out of Syria because they don't want to admit they lost, and they're not getting out of Afghanistan because the same thing, and they're guarding them poppy fields and bringing that shit over here.
Yeah, I mean,
I know in the history books they gonna make it look sweet.
There's a whole lot of conservatives that absolutely blame Obama for. I mean, everybody knows this, I guess, for you know, ISIS and like pulling out of, like saying he pulled out too early, but who's to know? You know, it's really a messy situation.
I really believe he knew ISIS was over there.
What are you talking about? We formed ISIS.
Yes. Him and Hillary were funding them. They took out Gaddafi. That man was assaulted with a machete, sodomized. That was sickening. And for her to make that comment, we came, he saw, he died, ha 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 ha. I could never push a button to vote for that woman. And what she did in Honduras.
You know, when she said that, my gut hurt.
Because my husband didn't know she said that. He said, she really said that? I'm going to show you the video.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, damn. And I said, you voted for her because you're scared of Trump. Can you imagine if Hillary was president? Oh my God.
See, just bringing that up causes me. I gotta quit getting. I've always been this kind. I hold my shit cool during the trauma, and then later on, that's when I go, "Oh my God." Isn't that stupid?
Everyone's quiet tonight, even Kevin.
It's kind of weird. It's like we're just happy to be in each other's presence.
Yeah.
Poor chat out there. Wait, who left?
Who left?
Oh, Kevin did.
He did?
Yeah. I'm just wondering. It's like I bet the chat is going, okay, this is a boring show tonight. No, I just I still feel the ultimate betrayal from Obama. I'm bitter still.
I am too, because my husband's like, why do you hate him so much? I'm like, can you go do your research? I was a staunch supporter of him. He had to beg me to vote for him in 2012 because I didn't want to do it. He said, oh, this is last year. He's going to do it. He's going to fight against the Republicans. And he didn't do shit. And Trump getting in there, signing executive orders, getting stuff passed. It's like, what the fuck was Obama doing? Well, when he first got in office, and I saw all those guys from Citigroup going and picking his cabinet, I'm like, oh shit, and all of them from the Bush administration.
It's like, okay, I can understand people months ago still, I had to go through my enlightenment period, but nowadays, if you don't see it, I wonder if they ever will see it, because it's so blatant in your face. I mean, it smacks you in your face now.
Well, they keep watching mainstream media. They never see it. They will never see it. Somebody did an article about MSNBC is the only network right now pushing for a war with Russia.
It's like, really?
And I used to respect Rachel Maddow and Lawrence O'Donnell. But the money has overtaken their minds, their morals.
They're like lesser of two evils politics,
Yeah.
Forever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just
And they're not reporting right on the helicopter crash of the 7 soldiers that got killed. One of them I saw a report, they hit a wire. But I know a lot of them helicopters be crashing because something is wrong with them mechanically, when they be training over in California and stuff like that.
We need the better of two goods, not lesser of two evils. Or the greater of two goods? I don't know.
But we had the greatest army. We won't stand no chance against Russia, Iran, Syria, and China, because they all going to get in together and go against us. And Putin is giving us up. Did anyone watch that Megyn Kelly interview with Putin? I didn't watch it, but they said they edited a clip of it where he dissed the media here about their hysteria with Russia, and it's very dangerous. They cut that out. They still trying to boost her damn ratings. I don't know why they took her, because she was just as racist.
It's like they're speaking in tongues or they're speaking another language. I don't get it. I don't follow it. I don't get it. I mean, it seems it's like fiction. It's like reading a fiction, or it's like everybody's watching. Who knows? I mean, what's everybody watching these days? What's the big TV show now? Twin Peaks.
I have no idea.
Still Twin Peaks. I don't know. Everybody's watching some show, and it's a fiction, and people forgot that it's fiction.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
We need the Daily Show back. We need a real Daily Show. I guess Redacted Tonight is kind of feeling the.
And Bill Maher sucks now. Oh my God.
We need a real Rachel Maddow. You know what I mean? We got the doppelgangers. They're still there. They're doppelgangers. So imposters, like some kind of like weird sci-fi thing where they're replaced by robots, or like I think the Kingsmen is what last one I remember. First Kingsman one, they're all replacement.
This country is going to hell in a basket.
I think it's already been.
I don't think it really has yet. Has anyone been watching Bella Piana's videos? Shut the fuck up.
That's.
She's pretty good.
I know a show called No You Shut Up. I like that show.
What show?
It's called No You Shut Up. NYSU.
Oh, well, this lady, she shut the fuck up. She's in Boston. Independent talked about her several times. I wish she would interview her. She's pretty darn good. She's like in her 50s. And she said we need to start a movement and get out there and march against these wars and stuff, because everybody's just sitting around and nobody's doing anything. But then I think they want us to do that so they can use the military and police powers against us.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, damn if you do and damn if you don't. But she said she's going to Cindy Sheehan's Women's March at the Pentagon in October. They did that woman wrong. Her son died in that Iraq war in 2004, that unjust war. And she had that anti-war protest, and she said that when Democrats come and co-opt your operation, just like they did Occupy Wall Street, it gets dismantled. And she said this time, this will not happen again. Is that March next weekend with all the kids?
Is what?
That March next weekend with all the kids.
I think so.
I think that was co-opted too, because they raised a lot of money for some reason.
Yeah, it's a women's march who are funded by Soros.
Yeah, the pussy hats.
Yeah, them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just the fact that it got what's that word, organized so quickly and so huge.
Yes. They raised money so fast.
It was like, this is just like that pussy hat riot march thing all over again.
What are you guys talking about? Is it a march that's what is the march about?
The kids, the gun,
the Parkland shooting,
the anti-gun and anti-NRA.
Is it school? Is it connected to the schools?
Is it what?
Is it connected to the school?
Yeah.
I would seem like I mean, I know like physical action is good. Teaching like it's good to teach protesting, and there's also ways to like heal or grieve and more, or and process and deal with everything. All that's can be positive. Teaching people to like maybe protest or be activists that are willing to like go out and protest and make signs, because it's a right we have, and it's good to exercise your voice and your political, speak your mind, and if you're mad enough, go out in the street, make a sign, protest, whatever you got to do. Like I remember it happened a lot in the Iraq War, and maybe some of it was, who knows, I don't think much of it was, I think most of it was organic and spontaneous and genuine. I guess not to ramble, what was I gonna say about it? Yeah, it can be good, but I don't know why schools. I think as far as schools are concerned, maybe like if you want to protest, like why can't you do it on your own time? Like, or you want to go out in the street and like do a candlelight vigil or march or whatever. Doesn't have to be during school hours or whatever. I'm not sure if I'm understanding it completely right, but I just think that a school could do better by maybe having a meeting in an auditorium and having a few speakers, for that amount of time that they're going to be out walking around or protesting or marching. Like maybe just have an assembly, and maybe they've already tried that and done that. But, still, I just feel like if you're going to do something, why not like have some speakers and have some, experts and counselors, people who understand these things, understand kids, child psychology and counseling and different things like that, different matters like that to orchestrate or, create and put on presentations, right? That could be something else, maybe in addition to that people could do.
This isn't about their grieving. They're actually being co-opted and used.
Right, but at the same time, right.
Yeah, it's the adults in this world are exploiting all this.
Yeah, they are. And here in Philly, in Philly.com, the newspaper, the urban schools, we don't have mass shootings. We may have somebody we have metal detectors in school. I didn't have them when I was going here, but we have metal detectors in school. All these rural and suburban areas, they don't have those things in their school. And the kids here was asking the question, if that happened to us, would they stand by us? Because there is a shooting every day in the city, not just in schools, but period. And I didn't get their viewpoint too.
Yeah, I hear other schools just like shaking their heads at these kids. It's like, yeah, I mean, just.
And it's mostly probably in urban cities, because urban cities, they don't have no mass shootings at all. They got metal detectors. And they always catch someone coming to school. Just last week, they caught somebody coming to school with a gun, and they got arrested. It's in the rural areas and the suburbs. Those things happen. And they don't have any. I thought they would put metal detectors in after Columbine.
It's like, I'm wondering how long this charade is going to keep on going, And where is it going to lead us in the end?
I had a friend who was into drugs, and he said she went to jail over this guy. She didn't want to narc this guy out, and because when she got caught with this pound of weed, and the guy was like messed up, and he and his ex-wife had split up or whatever, and he was like doing like lots and lots of hard drugs and had issues anyway. I don't know what it was. I forgot what it was. I don't want to name it. I don't want to guess at the one I thought it was because I forgot what it was that he had an issue with. My point is though, it's really sad. It's fucking super sad. The guy that she didn't narc out, right? He like later on when he was mad at his ex in whatever, and I guess high or something, he had his 3 kids and took them to the river and drowned them.
Mm.
And I guess my point of my story is like when people, maybe she didn't have any indication that he was going to do anything. Like she said, she had no idea. She already went over this so many times in her head, like it's her fault, you know? But she had no idea. And but when you do have any indication that like things are gonna, could happen like that, or like if in your family or something, or like any kind of warning signs, or like they're trying to get a gun, 2 + 2, kind of pretty. If you got some other information, so like I think that's really, there's probably people down there right now that, there's people, apparently there were people that tried to get a hold and tried to contact and inform and notify, whatever, report him. But there's probably still family members or something who are like, oh damn, blaming themselves. And I mean, I don't know, but then at the same time, as a society, there's some sort of situation about it, like that I guess like we just need to wake up just to the fact that it's a very thin line, that like somebody could just go break that law and just open fire, just harm, kill, murder people, like even like we saw in the worst one are the nightclub, Orlando nightclub, or in Las Vegas, things like that. So it's like guns. The NRA, part of the NRA's reason for loving guns is that its friends and whoever is selling all the guns, keep the demand up, the prices up, sell a whole bunch of them, make a bunch of money. But really, that's like, if you believe in the other part where it's like more like they're talking about liberties and rights and all the rest. I mean, that there's more to that. But the just the part about making money, like that shouldn't be coming first and guiding, policies and what we do and respond to it. So just responding like on a social level, humanity level of meeting or marching or whatever, that's good. But yeah, I think both sides got to come to the table and then everybody just like has to take it, I guess, be more serious about it or whatever, and not like nonchalant, like whether you're for or against guns, I think everybody agrees like there's got to be some cap about what you can't have bazookas. I mean, everybody believes that, and then like and then also just to be personally responsible. Have a gun cabinet, have a lock, have a gun safe, have whatever it is, trigger lock, whatever you have to do, and be careful about what you're doing and who has them, and by the way, I mean the laws do. I mean, if somebody uses your gun to commit a crime, as far as I know, you can be in like huge trouble just for that. So.
No, but if somebody used their gun for a crime, you have to report your gun stolen, and it's a process that's happened to my husband. His gun was stolen, and he was there in the police station for hours. He had to register and everything. And I don't know the outcome of that case.
The whole problem is the law enforcement, the FBI, the CIA, the psychiatrists. They're not doing their jobs. There are already hundreds of gun laws already, both federally and state, that if they were enforced, we would have way less issues going on. But they're not enforced.
Do you know any of the examples of those? I think I heard of John Oliver or something, maybe.
Who, what?
I feel like I might have heard something regarding that on John Oliver or something, but I definitely heard something about that before. I was wondering what those laws were particularly, because I forgot.
Well, like right now, there is the mentally unstable laws. There's like you can't have a true assault rifle. You can't have. I mean, there's laws. You can go into your own state laws and you can read them, and they're there. It's not like we're lawless. It's the NRA.
Some states almost are. I mean, Atlanta. I mean, wait, sorry. Georgia has that guns everywhere law, which is crazy.
It's you can't conceal and carry in any state. You have to open carry.
Is it? I thought. Yeah, I didn't know that. I know that guns everywhere law is pretty liberal. Though.
You cannot conceal and carry without a license. If you carry a gun without a license and you're in an open carry state, you have to have it right out there in front of everybody so that they know. You can't hide it.
There was this time I was going to my friend's house to see if he had some ganja back in Missouri, and getting in my car, getting in his car to go heading to his car out of his apartment to go see if we could or just go to my house. I forgot what it was, or my apartment. It's a couple blocks away. But anyway, this guy just accosts us, right? And he's like this Walker, Texas Ranger looking guy. And he goes, do you know such and such, so-and-so? There's a female's name. She lives in an apartment like number. He said like B something, B1 or 2. And he said, my friend Mark said, there is no B, there's numbers here at this apartment. And he's like pointed to like the second floor and just, maybe he had the wrong building because there's a couple buildings right next to each other. But he was like in this super serious mode, and he had a gun like, on his side or whatever. And it just was like super eager. I didn't really know. I didn't expect it. And then whenever that situation was honest, like he like kind of like squared off again, like almost like off with us. And like this guy was like super professional and super serious. And I guess he was like a bounty hunter or like some kind of, I don't know what, marshal or something, but I guess he seemed like more like a bounty hunter because of his dress, the way he was dressed. But it was really weird, and I think I made a mistake. I regretted afterwards. Like it was like 2 ways I could have went to the passenger side, and like I took the one that was like around him, like so I went around behind him, and it was just felt like that was a bad idea. Shouldn't even like. It was just such a serious situation. The guy was so like in this weird. I don't know. It was just really weird. Really sticks with me. But yeah. This guy with a gun, being really, really serious, interrogating you, walking your way to the car that you're trying to, the vehicle you're trying to get to. It was, anyway.
I knew New Jersey has a strict law, but they still have a lot of crime. If you cannot come to their state with a gun. Like I'm in Philly, and I'm not far from Jersey. We're licensed to carry, but we cannot go over there with our guns, or we will be charged. Because that happened to one woman. She had a gun in her trunk, and she didn't know the law over there. And they was about to send her away, but Christy, he pardoned her. He let her go.
I think it's like totally so crazy because you have a no gun zone. That's a welcome mat for people. That's a welcome mat for criminals. They go cool. That'll be easy target. Shouldn't announce it. That's so stupid. Of course, I was raised around criminals.
And it's like they have no drug zones by the schools, and people be doing crazy shit, growing meth and stuff like that right across the street from a school.
Criminals are criminals. They're called criminals for a reason. They will not obey one goddamn law. Period.
I heard about somebody who is like a weed dealer who lived across the street from the police station. Said that was because that would be the last place they would look or something.
Mm-hmm. I grew mine about 2 blocks away from a cop station. Then I had my whole garage was full of plants. Yeah, it was starting to stink so bad, and it was like, oh shit, okay, now I gotta figure out how to deal with the scent.
Yeah. I guess you were growing it well then.
Yeah, I was sneezing like shit in my own home, and my eyes would just drain. It was like, and I didn't know I was gonna. Huh?
I wish I could grow it. It's an expensive plant to have to buy. It's just a very valuable plant matter. Like, I mean, what else do you know that costs hundreds of dollars per ounce? You know what I mean?
I know, right?
I don't at least then you got something to keep. There's a ounce of hash. I mean, can go for more than an ounce of gold. So you could have bought that gold. Shit. Make your own hash, okay? And buy gold. You might as well.
I just didn't know I was gonna grow it so well, because it was my first time, and then when it grew really good,
Where were you at, if I can ask?
Huh?
Where were you at? Like, what state?
In Tacoma, which is
in the Pacific Northwest. I thought it was or maybe you're a little drier over there, but I know in Oregon where I'm at, it's hopeless because there's always mite problems. Like, everybody has mite problems.
Yeah, there was this part where I had to take my plants out and go treat it, put it in quarantine, and then bring it back in once they were clean. Boy, that scared me. But
how would you treat it for that? Because I want to be really natural.
I did it with vinegar.
Vinegar?
Yeah, they didn't like it.
It's the distilled, just the white vinegar or whatever?
Yeah, any vinegar. You can kill lice with that, right?
Right on.
Just remember that if your kid brings home lice, you can use vinegar and it'll kill them.
Yeah. Right
that chemical shit. Oh my God, it stinks. But now, I'm growing perfectly legal shit now. Not sure if you'll get to see it. It's kind of dark in the room. Can you see it?
Yeah. What is that?
Those are my lemon trees.
Oh, nice.
I
just ordered some cinnamon seeds. I'm going to grow cinnamon.
How do I get light in here?
You give me a lemon seed and I'll give you a cinnamon. I guess you can just get some lemon seed out of a lemon.
Don't you have grocery stores?
Basic, there's a lot of seeds you can just, I got a pack of seeds.
There we go.
All kinds of different vegetables. And I'm like, hey, why isn't there any potatoes seeds? My wife's just like,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just plug the potato down. Well, when they start rooting in the bag, leave them in a paper bag, and then they'll start growing all those roots. And then you just plug them in the ground. Well, you cut them in quarters, and then plug them in the ground about 6 inches.
Right on.
And then they grow more potatoes.
I just bought these ferns and I hope they grow. Okay out here. I got plenty of shade, fortunately.
I love growing stuff.
Oh yeah, me too. Even when I was super poor, I was in college, super duper poor for a few years there, and I just had houseplants though. I'd go spend precious money on houseplants because I like them so much.
Hey guys, I want to get ready to go.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I got my grandkids from Kentucky coming tomorrow.
Ooh, fun.
Oh, Jesus, this house is going to be full.
Have fun with that.
I haven't seen my babies since 2 years ago. Huh? I can't hear you.
I thought you said from Kentucky.
Yeah, they're coming in from Kentucky.
Are they flying or driving?
Flying. She's doing it. There's
40-hour drive, so yeah.
I have my grandson and then twin girls and a single girl. So she's going to be busy on that plane.
Oh my God! One time my baby cried the whole time. I'm used to it. I'm sure everybody else was in hell. My wife was there. She was only 7 months old or something. So I couldn't do nothing. I just let my wife handle it, and she just cried. Planes suck. I want to cry too.
Yeah, I don't like planes. I hate them. I'm scared to death of them.
My sinuses, and then the air pressures and my things, and then you know.
Oh, and then that damn air conditioning. Oh my god.
Yeah, they haven't changed their filters. Like, if anything, if the buses have it, the stores have it, I tell. Like, or I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a new filter that bothers me. No, I don't think so. it's the unchanged ones.
Yeah.
Just the nasty air that just never circulates. Like, they don't have any way to open and like let fresh air in or anything. It's just like one front door, maybe a door in the back somewhere, but it's closed off.
It stinks, Dale. I really do hate airplanes. Give me a train. I'll take a train any day.
Yeah, but I feel sorry for those people. Poor people. I was just like, I was exhausted. And it was a 3 hour. And it was like maybe like 2 hours, at least 2 hours. She was crying.
So I just need to get some sleep so I can get up early and get awake before they come.
Start cooking. That's what you gotta do. You said you leave that to her. You said that she's got a lot of stuff to do. Or what?
Yeah, I'll be cooking. I'll be cleaning. I'll be playing.
Cool. Hopefully we get some nice days. Hopefully we get some nice weather.
Oh my God, yes. I want outdoors stuff to do. Not
California. She wants to move to Colorado, and I'm like, I don't want to leave the ocean. I love the freaking ocean. That's what I'm looking forward to. Being out in weather warm. So I haven't been to the ocean since like October or September. I think it was September.
I would miss the ocean.
Oh, I love it so much. I lived in Colorado for a year, but I didn't get to like go see anything. It was broke as usual. But maybe I drove south a little bit, or drove in the mountain like once. It's pretty lame. There's so many things to see. I hung out in Boulder a little bit. Boulder, Colorado is so pretty. It's just like there's a really nice park that goes up the mountain, where is really remarkable and beautiful enough itself. And it's just like 5 minutes from downtown, and then you're just like walking up this gorgeous mountain area. But there's a lot of fracking in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. Like I think there's like 200 wells just right about 30 or 50 miles from Denver, and they're like diagonal wells digging under Denver. It's crazy. They're fracking in the middle of the mountain, like in the middle of the valleys in the mountain. There's a website you can look at all the fracking wells. Yeah, there's a whole crapload southwest by like Grand Junction, Colorado, like in like one spot. And there's a bunch. There's like some in the like this big valley in the mountain. I wish I could like go and like explore around those mountains and stuff, because there's just so much. There's really a lot of pretty area in Colorado, obviously, but really pretty stuff year round, the different seasons.
Yeah, I want to go visit. That'd be fun.
Sorry, I changed the subject to Colorado, but
oh, it's okay.
There's so many really cool towns and stuff. Like I just know like Frisco was one I discovered a long time ago, and then when I was there, I heard of it, and I didn't really go see that many. But there's like apparently tons of towns. Hippies growing cannabis up on the mountain. Lots of breweries up there. If I could go live in the mountains, I would do it.
I love Shasta area because, man, there's a lot of hippies around there, and I can get anything I want around Mount Shasta.
Oh, I never heard of that. Where is that, in Washington? Or where?
Mount Shasta is in California.
Okay. California, okay.
Oh my God, there's a lot of hippie communities around the base of it.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like I was telling my friend, like everybody wants to. I think the mentality of a lot of people is like they want to get money, and then they'll be like have a nice house with a nice yard and basically have nature, have a nice view, but you could just go have nature and have a nice view now. You know, like why do you have to go on this huge trek and journey to make $1 million to have a nice view and have it? I mean, you could just go enjoy nature, see things now. I mean, there's all those parks. You don't have to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And those, so there's some I think I admire a lot about that mentality. Just go out and live, grow some ganja. But I think a lot of those farms are being cracked down on. I remember hearing that in 1 week, $600 million worth of cannabis was cut down in 1 week of operate clandestine. Like all of a sudden, just like they monitored, they like figured out where everything was, and in 1 week they just hit everybody.
Ouch.
$600 million worth. And the state of Colorado that year, and all their taxes, they only made $60 million in taxes. So in 1 week they cut down $600 million. So they're trying to cut down they're trying to get rid of the black market, cannabis flow and money and everything else, and product, and get the legitimate stuff out there, and do that and monitor that. Most importantly, like in California, they can be, from what I understand, like monitoring every single plant on CCTV from the time it's little to the time it's on a scale. So that way all the taxes are paid on every bit of it. And I mean, so given the fact that we smoke a whole bunch, and demand is likely to be up for a long time, and people are just happy to do it legally, happy to go have choices, happy to be hassle free. You don't have to get a card or have your name anywhere. I've seen it. I mean, I lived in Colorado. I saw it become legal there. I saw it become legal here in Oregon. That's how people are, and they're willing to go shop and pay. And so with that business model, with them monitoring every bit of it growing as it grows on camera, like I think that's the new thing. I don't think it's a given. Like like everybody thought Hillary Clinton was going to win for sure. I don't think cannabis is going to win for sure. It's not a given. It could go back the other way. Good. I don't know. There's some big investments in it, and like some really nice dispensaries here in Oregon. It's like $1 million dispensaries are really, really expensive, really, really nice places. I don't know. I feel like people wouldn't be investing that much if there was any possibility that it was really going to go away. It would really be a huge disappointment, or a huge upset, and you have people very, very upset and messed up by that.
Yeah, because I don't want to go backwards.
I mean, I think Willie Nelson, there's like a strain called like Willie Nelson's. I almost bought it. I almost bought an eighth of it once. And it's like, I mean, I've seen it on the shelves, like Willie Nelson's Choice or something like that. And that stuff, I think they just got like $12 million investment or something. Like they just, got like something like that, $12 million, like bunch of investment in that company, like a green light for that. And, like things like that, if it did somehow go back the other direction. I'm just saying, don't rule it out. I mean, I shouldn't rule it out. I think it's heading that way, but I'm not going to say for sure, because, got to always kind of like consider all the possibilities. Don't count your eggs before they hatch.
Something like that.
Hopefully, though, because it's just an eggplant. It's just a fairly benign, actually medicinal plant. That people, if you believe in freedom at all, and if you trust science at all, should be pretty common sense. Sorry, can you hear the coffee in my voice? As usual, I'm like hyper.
I like that. Can you hear the coffee in my voice? Well, I'm gonna go to sleep.
Alrighty then.
I hate leaving so early, but it's like I gotta get my energy. I've been sick too. This is not a good time to be sick.
Catch you later. Enjoy your time with your grandbabies and whatnot. It's awesome.
Look for videos and pictures. I'll be posting them.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay, thank you. Good night.